I am a 19-year-old young adult that chooses to wear makeup rarely, do something different with my hair from time to time, and paint my nails when I'm in the mood. But I know that those things don't give me my beauty, and resources like those shouldn't be used to gain validation from anyone. I'm beautiful, and I stand firmly in that. However, those significantly younger than me have the minds of sponges. They soak in everything around them and they retain it. If you are constantly trying to glamorize a child with things like hair and nails, then they'll never understand that their outside appearance isn't the key to life's victories, and that they'll never understand that true beauty cannot be purchased. Children have special minds, personalities, likes, and dislikes that make up their inner beauty, and it should never be altered or concealed under any circumstances, especially for a beauty pageant, which oftentimes don't focus on the inner beauty of a child at all. I remember watching the popular American reality TV show Toddlers and Tiaras when it was at its peak in popularity, and I remember seeing a whole lot of children, mainly young girls, crying and yelling because they've been taken out of their child element and placed in coats and coats of makeup, spray tans, wigs, and such. And they've been pressured into the limelight. Pageants for children, mainly young girls, have the potential to subject them to excessive, unnecessary pressure, cause damage to their mental health, and make them believe that their bodies are pretty much the only things that they have going for them, which isn't true. In these pageants, children are oftentimes turned into and judged as Barbie dolls, and that shouldn't be. Would you put makeup, a wig, and a fake tan on your toddler simply for a beauty pageant? Apparently, one mother was willing to do so. She was willing to glam her 15-month-old up for a pageant without hesitation. Alison Smith Squire, journalist for the Sunday Mirror in London, wrote in a 2012 article that the child, along with about 100 other children, were finalists in the Miss Mini Princess UK competition, which was inspired by the controversial pageant-based reality show Toddlers and Tiaras. The children would be judged on things like faces and their outfits. Her mother insisted that putting makeup on her child was perfectly fine, since the child liked to watch mommy put it on, and she even tried to copy mommy sometimes. Well, although the child allegedly liked makeup, she certainly didn't like the blonde wig that was placed on her head, as she cried when they tried to put it on her. And they tried to put it on her simply because she didn't, quote, have enough locks of her own yet, unquote. Smith Squire also highlighted some of the other finalists, for example, the youngest one being 12 weeks old, and the child that had an eyelash glue malfunction that made her eyes water. She also mentions that in general, some parents have even let their children do pole dancing routines, all because they think that it'll secure their child a high title in these child pageants. Now, some may consider that to be beyond the child's years and others may not. But if children are being judged on things like beauty and routines, shouldn't it be their own beauty or routines that they're being judged off of, and routines that deal with things that they like? That is, if they wanted to do a routine at all. It is evident that the practice of child beauty pageants has some imperfections, but there may be too many of these imperfections, meaning that beauty pageants for children should be either completely revised or eliminated completely. People have mixed feelings concerning these child beauty pageants. About 33% of my audience, you guys, oppose pageants, while 66% of you are neither for or against pageants. You have nothing against them, just as long as they're done under appropriate circumstances that are comfortable for the child. The French Senate, however, seems to have firm opposition towards child beauty pageants, so much so that they have designed and voted on an amendment to ban them for children 16 and under and to turn them into a criminal offense. A 2013 article from the Globe and Mail tells us why the French Senate feels the way that they do about children participating in pageants. Lawmaker Chantal Jouanneau, author of the amendment, believes that young girls should, quote, concentrate on acquiring knowledge, unquote, instead of putting the spotlight solely on their physical appearances in these competitions. Jouanneau also raised another good point, that these pageants are putting mainly girls on the forefront and not boys. When she asked an organizer why there were no pageants designed for boys, the organizer, a male, said that boys wouldn't, quote, lower themselves like that, unquote. That's definitely some hard-hitting information, and it definitely pushes pageants for young girls further into a negative corner. Aside from the obvious gender angle, pageants can also potentially damage their participants' self-esteem, body images, and their minds. According to an article from AAP General Newswire, the Royal Australian and New Zealand College of Psychiatrists is in favor of banning child beauty pageants as, quote, the mental health and development consequences of this are significant and impact on identity, self-esteem, and body perception. That statement came from Philip Brock, the chair of the college. Brock also says that through these pageants, kids are given the wrong examples concerning what's really the most important thing in life, and that pageants are too encouraging of child sexualization. Ladies, take yourself back to your childhood, say about 6 years of age. Say you have a dislike for beauty pageants, but you've been placed in one anyway by your mother, and you're coated in all this makeup. You have a wig on your head, a spray tan, just a whole enchilada. And now you have to go out and perform some crazy dance routine that you were made to rehearse at home for hours prior to the pageant. And you feel all this pressure to win the highest title because so much has been invested into the pageant, even though you didn't want to do it in the first place. And you know that if you don't win a high title, that your parent will be most likely mad at you. You're going to feel all this guilt and shame. Think about how that would feel to a 6-year-old child. Think about how that would make you feel. As a society, we need to look at the definition of beauty that we have chosen. Nobody should be picking and choosing what beauty is, especially when it concerns children. Beauty isn't something that's acquired. We're born with it. It comes in different forms. No child should ever think that it can be acquired with clothes and makeup, and no child should ever be taught that being judged on how their alterations make them look is normal. I'm sure that by now you understand that the beauty pageant world may be okay under some circumstances, but that their bad and risky aspects outweigh their good ones. There's no guarantee that a child's mental health will be damaged by a beauty pageant, and there's no proof, and there's no guarantee either that shows that all children that participate in beauty pageants hate them. And there's no guarantee that they all send bad messages, but we have to ask ourselves why makeup is even thought of when it comes to children, no matter how young they are. They don't need it as they already have a built-in inner beauty that doesn't need to be revised. There are other alternatives such as school or local talent shows where children are solely judged on talent in most cases, and excessive glam isn't required. There's more of this harm being done than good. This is a picture of an 8-year-old child being given Botox by her mother. Yes, why? Because she's getting ready for a pageant. This is copyrighted by ABC, but I got it from a website called KHQ. Don't mind that. Children are not Barbie dolls and shouldn't be treated as such. The standard beauty pageants for children should be washed out of society's shirt. Think about it. Thank you.